Hello, lovers. You're welcome to this very exciting episode of Finding Love. I am Grace Renner. Finding Love is a marriage and relationship show that instills the right foundation for marriage with the understanding that, marriage is God's idea. Now, it is a useful insight for anyone who's ready for the journey of marriage and desires to do the way the Creator has designed it. It's important for us to know that marriage is God's idea, as after he created Adam, he said, "It is not good for man to be alone. Let us make him a help meet for him." So on this note, if you are new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Click the subscribe button so that and then also click the bell so that you get notified whenever I post a video. Okay, and then don't forget to like and share. All right, I'll be right back. You're welcome back, guys. Our last episode or edition was the Valentine's special edition. If you haven't watched it, it's a good time to go and watch it right after this. Today we'll be starting a new series called Red Flags and Character Flaws. And on this series, over the period of time, we'll be defining, red flags and character flaws, differences between red flags and character flaws, why to correct character flaws, and just everything about red flags and character flaws. But for today, I'll be defining what red flags and character flaws are and telling you their differences. So in case, it would definitely be useful to you. Okay, so in case you have been thinking in your head, oh, what's the difference between red flags and character flaws? Stay tuned. Red flags are things that you see that indicate that there's a deeper problem. There are signs that you see, in a person or a relationship that indicates that relationship might be very unhealthy for you. Red flags could be called deal breakers, things that draw your attention, that make you restless or steal your peace, indicating that you're probably in a relationship that is not meant for you, or that might waste your time in the long run, or that just might not be healthy for you. These are things that that you spot in a person, that you notice in a person, that could be a big problem for the relationship. And I'll give you examples of red flags. For instance, you find out maybe in your conversation with somebody when you guys go on dates that the person has a habit of beating up his exes or exes, getting physically abusing them. That's a major red flag. Or it could be maybe you are currently in a relationship and the person would not just let you be, in the sense that they want you to call them like 100 times a day, or call you like 100 times a day. They do not want you to have time for your other lives apart from them. Or let me even give a personal example at this point. I remember I dated somebody before I met my husband that he would always want to talk to me like all the time. He had issues with me hanging out with other people. If maybe I go for my modeling shoots and he calls me and I miss his call, by the time I call him back, he's going to be nagging and nagging. Who are you with? Why didn't you take my call? Or you didn't want to take my call because you're with other people and things like that. Or maybe he calls me and I'm in my car and I'm like, oh, can we talk when I'm alone? I have people in my car. He'll be upset. And why are you carrying people in your car? And why are you, things like that. It was always so suspicious, and I didn't have peace in that relationship. And I doubt he had as well, because, it was a major red flag. So these are things, this is what you call a red flag. Character flaws are manners or traits or, behavior in a person that can be overlooked, except they are like a ton of them. There are things that, behaviors that a person portrays that maybe they might not be able to help themselves, or things that might annoy you at sometimes, that you can either overlook. I mean, things that might not necessarily pose a big problem in the relationship. There are things that even though they are there, you can gloss over them because, oh, this relationship is a good one. So in essence, character flaws are things that can be managed, things that can be overlooked. Yes, there might be a problem depending on the magnitude of these character flaws, or how much they are, and everybody's threshold for what a flaw is and a character flaw is and a red flag is are different. But generally, character flaws are character traits in a person, behavior, manners, or personality of a person that you can actually put up with or manage depending on the extent of this flaw. Now let me give you an example. I don't know if anybody here watches Bob's Hat Abishola. It's a series that I love so much. It's a comedy series. The last episode I watched, now Bob took what's her name, Abishola, out for, I think he won an award or something, so he went for the award party, and he introduced him to her friend, and introduced her to his friends, and then he didn't just let her talk. Now every time they asked her a question, he will answer on her behalf. If she tried to answer, he would talk over her. Now I'm talking about bad manners being a character flaw. And at the end of the day, it's created some kind of tension on the relationship. And some people do not know that it's bad manners to talk over people or want to, be all over, the conversation, not allowing other people to talk. So this is it now. If someone has brought it to your attention before, or maybe you do not even know that you have that as a character flaw, make a decision today to consciously be a good listener, to listen more. Whether you've been told before that, you talk over me or anything like that, because sometimes people might not tell you and you might not know, and you just think that you're fine with the way you are. So one of the ways, to help yourself is, from today, make a decision that I would try to listen more than I speak. Conversation is about, you talk, I talk, both of us, engaging, but not just one person. It's not a one-sided thing. And the thing is, communication problem is one of the major issues that make marriages fail. A lot of people have issues with the way their partners talk over them, or just communication issues. Now you can fix the problem even if you don't know it's there. You can actually just already fix it, troubleshoot, by making sure that you pay more attention than you speak. Okay, now I'm going to be talking about the differences between character flaws and red flags. Okay, like I said before, everyone's threshold for what a character flaw is or a red flag is are different. Okay, but generally there's some very, very clear distinction between character flaws and red flags. So if I were you, I'd listen and I would take my own, because it just might be a message to you. Now, before I talk about the differences between character flaws and red flags, earlier I mentioned that everyone's threshold for what a character flaw and a red flag is are different, okay? Or it's different, sorry. Now, let me give examples of what I mean. For example, you are dating somebody that is an alcoholic or abuses alcohol, and then he or she drinks alcohol to the extent that they become drunk, and it happens all the time. Now, this kind of behavior can go from a character flaw to being a red flag, as it can cause the other person to pull out of the relationship. Okay, because nobody, not too much of anything is bad for anybody. Okay, nobody will want to consciously and continuously be with somebody that gets drunk all the time. And you know what it means when you get drunk all the time? It's like, you know how drunk people behave. Not everybody can put up with that for so long. And courting and dating season is a period of to observe this person you are dating, to see if this person is right for you. Okay, so when people exhibit such behaviors when they are dating, it just might become, move from a character flaw to becoming a red flag. Okay, let me give you a biblical reference. It says, Proverbs 25:16 says, "Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it." Now, honey is being used here. Honey is one of the sweetest things ever. Even as sweet as it is, I have eaten honey before to the extent that my tummy upset me for hours. I was in pains, rolling on my bed for hours. And too much of anything is not good. Eat as much as, drink as much as, everything should be in moderation. Okay, because it can make a good person come out of a relationship that is meant for that person just because they have seen a character flaw that has now posed itself to be a deal breaker. Okay, let me also give you another example. Maybe you're not an appreciative person. Maybe your partner does something for you, and maybe you have this entitlement mentality. In fact, a lot of the times, lack of appreciation is as a result of entitlement mentality. Now, everybody likes to be appreciated. Thank you is a magic word. So when people do things for you, or you're dating someone and they do things for you, even if it feels small to you, or you feel that they can do much more than they're doing, just say thank you and mean it from your heart. Mean it. Nobody owes anybody anything. So if people come out to do things for you, even if you feel that they should have done better, say thank you. Thank you goes a long way, because what this does is, when people do not feel appreciated around, maybe they do something, they go out of their way to do something for you, and you do not appreciate them, over the time it starts to build resentment, and then it could go from a flaw to, even them pulling out of the relationship. Because how do you feel when someone says thank you to you, even for the tiniest things that you do? So that is how everybody wants to feel. Everybody wants to feel appreciated in a relationship. A lot of marriages fail today because the husband or the wife doesn't appreciate the effort that the man puts or the woman puts in the marriage. Okay, so appreciation, just a simple word as thank you. And when you say thank you, mean it, without any form of clutch or entitlement mentality that, oh, this is what this person is supposed to be doing, so why should I say thank you? Okay, I just thought to throw that in. So now we'll talk about the differences between red flags and character flaws. Now, number one, character flaws can be overlooked, but red flags are not to be overlooked because they have caught your eyes for a reason. There's a reason that you have spotted that this is a red flag, and so you should not overlook them. Look into them, address them, whatever you do, but do not overlook them. Number two, red flags, show up early. There are signs that you see even on your first date, or as you're still trying to get to know the person, or even as early as few weeks into the relationship. But character flaws show up as the relationship progresses. Maybe as you get comfortable with each other, as you start dating, you get very comfortable, you feel comfortable around each other. That's when you start to notice that, oh, this behavior of this person that is beginning to irritate me. Now, number three, with red flags. Now, when a third party hangs out with you and the person, they would see it, or they might see it, because it's an intuitive thing. Like, they might see it, they might feel it, whether they are discerning or not. Unlike character flaws, they would not see it. It would take getting close enough, getting to know the person, for them to now observe that this person has this kind of issue with their character. So character flaws are easily noticeable by the third. Red flags are easily noticeable by the third person or a third party, but character flaws, takes a lot of getting to know the person more with time, and then before they realize that there is a character flaw. Number four, red flags are things that would, steal your peace from the moment you see it. They would steal your peace, they'll make you very uncomfortable. But character flaws, on the other hand, will not disturb you so much. You would see it as something you can live with or help the person with. So red flags will disturb you and steal your peace. Character flaws will not disturb you so much, and instead it will make you step in, like, okay, maybe I can actually live with this or help this person in this area. Finally, number five, red flags are things that indicate that you should quit the relationship. Most times are things that indicate that you should quit the relationship. Then character flaws are things that indicate that you might have an assignment in the person's life. Okay, on this side, the red flag is saying, wow, this is a sign that this relationship will not be good for you. You should call it quits from this point. Character flaw is saying, see that thing that might be your assignment in the person's life. Now, it's important to follow your intuition. Allow your intuition to guide you. When you see signs of things that trouble you, do not just let them go. Pray to God. Ask him, why am I feeling this way about this person, or what is in this thing for me? Is this thing deeper than it looks? Because sometimes you might bring somebody into your space and they block your favor completely. Sometimes you might bring somebody into your space and then things just start to go boom. Now, it's important that you do not miss it or mix it up, such that you let in the wrong people and then you let go of the right people. So always ask God to show you why. You can bring a child to your environment. Bring someone to your environment and a child will just not like the person. That might be a sign. Do not just ignore signs or let things go. It might be a coincidence, it might be anything, but how would you know if you do not ask God to show you? Okay, so always ask God. When you meet somebody new, if you feel any way about the person, sometimes even our feelings might be the problem. So just ask God and say, oh God, why am I feeling this way? Does it mean that this person is for me, or there's something about this person that's not right for me? And and things like that. Okay, So on this note, I will end this particular episode. Okay, please like, share, comment. Let's interact. I like it when you propose comments. Let's talk. Let's interact. If you have suggestions or anything, feel free to put them on the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed, and share the video. Thank you so much. If you haven't clicked the notification bell yet, please do click. You guys are making me stutter. Just do what I'm saying you should do, please. I remain Grace Renner. See you next time.